is. And yep, I still don't have the streaming software, so we have to do one more video like this. But oh well. Now, after all that lengthy discourse I gave you last week about, well, it's going to motivate me to get the streaming software, which is true, but as soon as I started getting into the streaming software, guys, there is so many options, so much to learn about which one to get. And John Saldana recommended Wirecast, I think, which appears to be pretty much a really good one. But it's like $25 a month to subscribe to this thing. So, yeah, we have to really make sure that that's what we want before we can commit to that. So let me just maneuver this thing real quick so that we can get on with the stream. Okay. Good morning, Crystal. Good morning, Matthias. Hello, my friends. So we are going to do the meditation, and then we are going to discuss a question from one of you guys. Oh, that's better. Okay. So Ginny McDonald, hello, my friend. Val, guys, let me know if how the sound is sounding. Yeah. Let me see here. Wild orange. What did I say? What did I say? And that is what I said in the sound check is the essential oil that I have on right now. It's really nice, lovely. Okay, thank you, Val. Sounds good. So, guys, let me know where you're at, what you're up to, and your thoughts on the topic this week. All right, so I will read the question that I got from you guys a couple weeks ago, and then we will go from there. All right, because we are going to run with this theme as far as we're building upon each time we just get the questions from you guys for the next time. So make sure that you put questions somewhat relevant to this sort of topic, this sort of thing that we're doing, because that way we can just keep playing off of it. I like it that way. Yes? So, let's see. Good morning, Pam from South Africa. Hello, Miss KC. Happy Monday from Atlanta. Oh, I bet it's hot in Atlanta right now. Freebird, what's up, my friend? Yeah, guys, it's about to be blazing hot again because there's like a tropical storm, and when that happens, then after the tropical storm, it's like not a cloud in the sky, blazing hot, and totally crystal clear skies up here up north when there's the tropical storms in Florida and stuff like that. So that's what we're getting. You know, that's what we will be. Let's see, Southern Illinois, the robot. All right, all right. Guys, let me know, is it loud enough? Because I can make it a little bit louder if I need to be. Is that better? I want to make sure that it's plenty loud enough. I'm still experimenting with this microphone. So, yes, Matthias says, mid-Europe stays relatively cool. Nice, yes. Freebird says, question, every morning when I'm doing my breathing, I hear Nate's voice say, take a deep breath in and then out. Is that a distraction? Well, I would say no, that's a blessing. Okay, so that's a blessing, not a distraction. But no, it will just be like that for a while. But all you do is observe. You just observe. And for a long time, I still had thoughts and you know, repetitive programs and stuff from when I learned it, from when I learned things, the instructors that you learn from and things like that. Yeah, the wording is still in the mind, totally normal, not a problem. Not a problem at all. So just observe. You just observe and don't allow it to distract you. Don't allow it to be, oh no, I shouldn't be hearing that, you know, his voice. I shouldn't be hearing any noises. Doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Two Broke Chicks Farm and Homestead. Nice. It's your name is so long though. On here, all of your comments got cut off. So I would love to be able to read this. I just don't know how, because I can't see the end of it because your name is so long. So it like cuts it off. Let's see if I can. Let's see. No, I can't. It says I'm not super new, but I definitely speak or comment. But I wanted to, am very thankful for this podcast, dealing with my own overwhelming. I can't read it. Sorry. Well, own overwhelming thoughts, repetitive thoughts, like no matter how hard I work, nothing works out the way that I feel like it should be. Then I think back and I'm grateful for all the things that I have. And that puts me in a down spot because I feel bad for feeling bad because I know things could be so much worse. I feel bad for feeling bad. Listen, guys, because I know things could be so much worse, even though I feel like I am just struggling. This ego's got to go. Anyway, looking forward to today's chat. Okay, I know that there were some words I missed, but we got the gist of it. We got to roll with it, yeah? So that's a wonderful topic. That is a wonderful topic, and if you could copy and paste that, put that in the actual comments of the video afterwards, I would love to. That can be next week's podcast. Absolutely, we can discuss that after the meditation, because that's very relevant. All right, very relevant. So we're going to get into the meditation here in just a moment, and that's also, your the Two Chicks Homestead. That's also going to today. You will also be able to gain insight into that question as well. So Gary Taproot says, "Good morning, all. I'm excited to share that I now know what Nate means by becoming the Watcher. I did not really understand until it happened. Keep with the practices and all becomes clear." Yes, Gary. Absolutely. And that's just how it works. That's how it goes. You go in, and I know this from experience and from being in the, and from years of being in the sort of industry or in the circles of spiritual awakening and stuff. And you think that you have an understanding of what the sort of guide or teacher is talking about. Okay, yeah. But then one day it becomes so crystal clear, and you're, oh, and only then do you realize you didn't actually know at that time. And then, but now you're experiencing it. Now it's becoming a reality for you. Yes. So when you become the Watcher, there's like an initial recognition that you are the Watcher. The disassociation happens. And then it can oscillate back and forth for some time. You can sort of get totally wrapped up in the storyline again, but then you'll come out and you'll be the Watcher again, and you'll know yourself as the Watcher. And it can oscillate for some time, but there will come a time when your entire experience is now the Watcher. All that is. Okay, so let's get into the meditation. All right. Hello, Nancy. Hello, Aaron Johnson. Yes, good to see you guys. So let us do the meditation, okay? It's all about the practices, for sure. So wherever you are, whatever you are doing, straighten the spine, and let us take 3 deep conscious breaths together, breathing fully in. Hold. And let it go. Again, breathing fully in. Hold. And let it go. Last one. Fill the lungs all the way. Hold. Hold. And let it go. Now allow the body to breathe however it wants to breathe. Keep the spine straight, but the body is relaxed. Now, bring your attention to the body and notice if you are holding tension in any part of the body. Look first to the face and the jaw. Many people are holding tension in the face and the jaw without even realizing it. Consciously relax the jaw and the neck. With each exhalation, you can sink deeper and deeper into this relaxation. Notice the shoulders and the back, the upper arms. If you're holding tension there, release. Release the tension and feel the wave of relaxation. There's no need to think of anything in particular. You are feeling, you are experiencing this moment as it arises and manifests in the body. If thoughts come into the mind, that's all right. You just watch them, observe, and then let them go. And come back to the relaxation of the body. Now move your attention into your hands and completely relax the hands, the fingers. When you do this, notice a sense of vibration, a sense of electricity in the hands. Now you relax the abdomen and the hips. Maybe you are sitting cross-legged on the earth. Just feel the weight, feel the gravity holding you to the earth. But completely relax the body. When you look into the body and you consciously relax each part, you will notice at first how much tension you're holding. This is normal. This is the unconscious habit patterns. This is stored and trapped emotional energy. We consciously release. With each exhalation, the tension evaporates. So that now the entire body is deeply relaxed and you can feel waves of vibration pulsating through the body. With each inhalation, you are breathing in the prana, the life force, that which sustains you and animates you. It is much more than just air. It is life force. And with each exhalation, you saturate the body with the life force. And relax deeply. You relax the mind in the same way. Release the tension in the same way. Maybe you notice tension in the forehead or the brow. Release, release. And feel light and joyous and satisfied and content. When the body is deeply relaxed. Feel the expansiveness. In order for the body to be relaxed, you must inhabit the body consciously. With each exhalation, you feel your presence expand, expansiveness, waves of energy. Everything is waves of energy, waves of information, vibrating, pulsating, dancing. Observe this flow of energy as it animates your life. Allow the power of your attention and your presence to saturate the body. Every cell in the body is vibrantly alive. You can feel this as a unified field of electricity, the toroidal energy field. You can strengthen this field with your conscious awareness. Together, let us take 3 deep conscious breaths, breathing fully in. Hold. Let it go. Again, breathing fully in. Fill the lungs. Hold. Let it go. Last one. Deeply as you can. Hold. Hold. Let it go. Okay, my friends, today's meditation is very important because most people in our modern society are under a state of chronic tension, chronic stress, and tightness. Now, how many of us know of the people, maybe our great-grandmother or somebody that smoked and drank or something for years and years and lived to be in their 90s, but other people live what appears to be a relatively healthy lifestyle and expire quickly at a relatively young age. Now, there are many factors involved, but one of the main factors involved in how someone ages and in how the aging looks on their face and in their aura and in their being all has to do with how much time do they spend in the sympathetic or the parasympathetic system. How much time do they spend in a state of tense stress? Or how much time do they spend in a state of relaxation? How inhabited in their body are they? This is the key. This is the key, is to inhabit your body and to consciously relax. You relax the jaw, the chest, the sacrum, all of this as often as you can. Consciously relax. Make this your number one spiritual practice for now, is to anytime you can think about it throughout the day, to consciously relax the body. Even when you are standing in line somewhere, when you are waiting, when you're driving, it doesn't matter. Relax. Relax the chest and the body. Now, at first, this may seem a little bit silly, but with consistent practice, I assure you, you will recondition your nervous system. And that is when the magic begins to happen. It's all about conditioning. Remember, you become good at whatever you practice. You become good at whatever you practice. So if you practice being tense and tight and receiving life in a way that is full of tension and anxiety and sort of dread or nervousness or uncertainty or the belief that we got to really work hard and toil hard, then that is what life is going to give you. And you're going to be very good at that, holding tension. And it's going to manifest itself in any number of ways. Any number of ways. Chronic ailments, diseases, dis-ease, psychological disorders, dis-ease. But if you practice relaxing, whoa, releasing the tension, yes, this is the key, then you will maintain your state of relaxation. The parasympathetic system. We want to maintain as much time as possible in this state. You will feel the results as the nervous system becomes reconditioned. You will feel this in your life. Your ability to handle issues and handle your day-to-day life, your ability to process reality, the way you process reality changes. It changes. Everything is malleable. Remember that. Everything is malleable. It's like clay. Everything can be shaped and changed and flow and mold. Your behaviors, your beliefs, things that seem totally out of your control are actually in your control to varying degrees. Everything is malleable with consistency. So, Sam Potzik says, I hold so much unconscious tension in my jaw and grind my teeth. I'm catching it, though, and can ease up pretty quickly. Yes, this is common. When you begin this practice, you will see how much tension you're actually holding. A lot of people, and men especially, can hold it in their shoulders and the neck and the kind of jaw, and then when you consciously go in there, you relax, you relax. You're reconditioning the relaxation response. It is a trigger. It is a response in the body, a response to certain things. So, and this goes way back to way back when, the sort of animal instincts of the body. If it perceived a threat, it would tense up in some way because it would brace itself for the threat, or it would brace itself for fight or flight. The hormones and everything like that would go, would fire. But in our modern life, the stressors are very different. Very rarely does anyone have an acute life or death stress, a tiger or a gunman or something like this. Very rarely does that happen, extraordinarily rare. But the stressors now are chronic and psychologically based. So, because remember, the brain doesn't really, the subconscious and the brain doesn't really know the difference between what it sees in reality, what is really happening, and what it imagines in its psyche. It doesn't really know the difference. This is one reason television and movies are so overwhelmingly powerful to programming, because the brain doesn't really know the difference. Think of this. If you're not to this level yet and you don't believe this and you don't understand this yet, then go into a meditation, go into a meditative state, sit deeply in the meditation, quiet, everything's quiet. Okay, this doesn't have to take a long time. Sit quiet, and this is going to show you. Sit very quietly, rest, okay? Have some water, turn on some incense, have some soft music if you want. The deepest relaxing environment you can get, all right? Then once you're in that state, begin to imagine, really, you have to really imagine a serial killer coming after you with a knife, something like this, trying to claw at you and stab you and get you in the neck. It's got its arm around you and stabbing you in the neck like that. And you're struggling and you just want to live, but you thought you had more days to live, but now it's the end. And he's stabbing you like that. Oh, and just keep imagining that. And then take note of the body, of the state of the body. Your heart rate will have skyrocketed. Your body will be tense. You may start to sweat. You will notice all these physiological responses, even though you are in your meditation hall. Nothing is happening, but in your mind, the body doesn't know the difference. Do this several times if you're not convinced of how powerful the psyche is to the body. Or when you're watching a horror movie, yeah? For example, when you're watching a horror movie, how after something happens, and then even though nothing is happening, you're just watching moving images on a screen. The body, the psyche, doesn't know the difference. This is very important to understand. Very important. So, okay, Freebird says, this is a great assignment. I find myself holding tension in my shoulders several times a day. Yes. So every time we do that, we consciously relax. We consciously relax. So, guys, let us get into the actual topic of today. So I want to read the question that we got. So I should have had this prepared. Hold on. And so I will read this question here. Okay. We got this question last week from one of you guys, but I will not read the name because I think they deleted it because I couldn't find it. But thankfully, I took a picture of it. Okay. So this person says, what if you are happy and content in general, but there is something that you feel is missing and you just can't get it off your mind? You try to ignore it, but you just can't escape the desire? Question mark. Maybe some desires are meant to push you forward into further awakening. Is inspiration the same as desire? Thank you. You are appreciated as always. Yes, thank you very much, my friend. Thank you for the question. Okay. So if you're happy and content in general, so what do you guys think? Or how would you answer this person's question? So what if you're happy and content in general, but there's something you feel is missing? You just can't get it off your mind. You try to ignore it, but you just can't escape the desire. And then it says, is inspiration the same as desire? So maybe some desires are meant to push you forward into further awakening. Yes, Spencer, hit that like button. Thank you, guys. Make sure you hit the like button. So what do you guys think? I want to see a couple of responses from you. If you're watching this after the fact, just put it in the comments. No problem. Yes? Jenny McDonald says, after 31 years in healthcare, now on my 4th month of retirement, learning to relax is difficult. Oh, I bet. But you can rewire the nervous system. You can rewire it. You can rewire all the responses of the body. It's amazing how malleable and plastique the body is. So, let me take a drink. Ooh, sweeping page. I can't wait for next week's serial killer meditation. We should do that. We should totally do that. Shouldn't we? That would be great. Okay, so if there's something that you feel is missing now, is inspiration the same as desire? So, let's see. I'm trying to read some of these comments real quick to see if anyone. Okay. So Val says, seem to me desire and inspiration are really different. Yes. Oh, absolutely. So what would be, let's break it apart. So there are, let's say, okay, inspiration and desire. So there are two fundamentally different. All right. Inspiration, we will say, comes from the heart. Desire comes from the mind. Desire in the way that we use it comes from the belief of the ego that we can gain something or lose something. So there's the lust towards gaining or the fear or aversion towards losing. something like this. And so that would be what we are calling desire here, to the longing to have. Yes. Now that comes from the ego mind, the mind that says, "I am not whole as I am." It subconsciously says this, not consciously, because then it would dissolve. So it says, "I am not whole or enough as I am. So therefore, I must acquire something in order to be whole." Yes. And so you see this big time in our modern society. People are really driven towards desires because they're under the total delusion that something, whether that be material or situational, can make them whole. Yes? And so that is of the ego still, definitely. And whereas inspiration comes from the heart. It comes from the heart energy. And the heart energy, there is no ego in the heart. There is no ego in the heart. That's why the mind and the ego mind and the little fictitious sense of self fears opening up the heart channels because it knows, oh man, then I'm not going to be the boss anymore. Then I can't run your life anymore with all these little fears and desires and all these little petty little things, self doubt and all that. I can't run your life anymore if you open up the heart energy. Now, why is that? That is because the heart energy is tapped in to the source of all knowing. The mind, the ego mind, where desire comes from, the type of desire we're talking about, is thinks. It thinks and it calculates and it plans and it manipulates and it does all these kind of calculations and things. And it wants to know, but it comes up with decisions and it can be very good for problem solving. Yeah. But the heart energy doesn't have to do any of that. It doesn't have to think. It doesn't have to analyze. It doesn't, because the heart energy knows. It knows. Now, how can it know something that hasn't happened yet? How can it know? Because it is tapped in to the source of all creation. It is tapped into the field of knowing. Remember, the very fundamental nature of reality is not solid. It is waves, wave field information all around us. And so the heart energy is tapped into that. It can feel that. It transcends time because time is not real in the way that we think that it is. Let us take, for example, okay, listen. Let us take, for example, here is a book, okay? Here is a book with a story of a person's entire life, okay? Now, here's the book. The story is here, all at once, all right now. It's all here in the now. The complete story, everything is here in the book now. But the way that this brain, the human brain, the decoding device that decodes the waveform information, the way that it operates, one of the limitations of it, or one of the parameters of it, is that it can only access this information one page at a time, and actually one word at a time. That's not a limit of the book or of the story. The story is here, complete now. It's a limitation of the interpreting device, the human mind. And so it can only access that one page, one word at a time. And so it gives the illusion that there is a linear thing we call time. But that's only a limitation of the decoding device. That's not inherent in reality. Okay? So everything is happening, has already happened now. All of it's happened. So the ego mind is the decoding device. And so it has to access this stuff in a sequential pattern. And so it gives the illusion that there is a sequence of things, a linear thing called time that we're moving along. But that is not the ultimate reality. The ultimate reality is that it all exists now in the state of now. And so the heart energy is tapped into that. And it knows, it just knows. It doesn't have to think. It doesn't have to analyze. It doesn't have to question itself. It doesn't have to do anything like this. It just says, hey, well, it doesn't say anything. It just, boom, there's a sense of knowing. Do you know the difference? I'm sure many of you can know the difference. Let me know in the comments. how you would describe the difference between the mind, ego mind, brain knowing, and the heart knowing. Many people don't really even, they have small glimpses of the heart type knowing in their life, but they're not accustomed to listening to it. They're not accustomed to running with it. They're not accustomed to letting it dictate their life, to letting it guide their life. They're too accustomed to the brain, ego mind, decision making mind running their life. And so they might not even know what I'm talking about. They might not have any idea what I'm even talking about. What do you mean the heart energy? That sounds all hippie woo woo. No, my friend, not at all. Not even remotely close. If you've not opened up the heart channel yet, you are missing out on a whole ocean of knowing that you cut yourself off from when you operate only from the brain, that has all these decisions it has to make and everything, and primarily the decisions are tough because of the self-doubt that well, did I make the right decision? Is that really what I wanted to do? No, let's go back. Oh, wait, no, let's do it again. Oh wait, no, but I'm always making the wrong decisions. Nothing works out. I just don't know. Indecision is a curse, guys. And that comes purely from the brain, the mind, the ego mind. The heart, it already knows. It already knows. So if you are getting these recurring thoughts in your mind, so I want to read some of the comments first, then I will get into that. Let's see here. Lisa T says, "Hey Nate, hope the tube is sending you a few ducats for these ads. They just got one for a relaxation app. A relaxation app. See, they know. Oh, for sure they're listening. Are you kidding? Oh my goodness, to an alarming degree. Yeah, to a degree that 20 years ago we'd be like, no way are we. But it's incrementalism. It's incrementalism. Now we're all just like, yeah, they're listening to us all the time, every word. I mean, so Freebird says, I love that it touched me, opening up my heart energy. Yes, heart energy. You guys talking about grinding your teeth? Okay, good. Brian says, learning the difference is difficult. Letting the stress go is the only path. Stress and fear is a chain around my neck. Letting it go, letting it go. Yes, my friend, you are in the right place for that. It's all about the practices. Matthias says, heart knowing is instant knowing. That is right. And it says, still trying to tune in better. Yes, we'll talk about that in a moment. So yes, you guys, Val says, yes, true. She's a warrior, but also a worrier. Sam Potzik says, for me, inspiration is more of a long-term thing that builds momentum, and desires pop up in an instant. Okay, that's a good way to describe things. I can hear that. I can feel that, definitely. Blue Wolf says, for me, the mind has a very small wave pattern of vibration, where my heart has a large wave pattern. That's a good way to put it. That's a good way to put it. Yes, it is very much like that too, especially once you become tuned in to the wave field and you can feel these things, then you will notice the different vibrational levels of things. And so the mind things are kind of small vibrational and sort of confined, but the heart energy is expansive because it taps into the ocean of waveform information that exists all around us all the time. You are literally immersed in a sea of infinite potentiality right now, at this moment, and therefore every moment. You are immersed in a sea of infinite potentiality. That is how free you are, not confined by anything except the concepts of your own mind. So, all that being said, the questioner says, but if there's something you feel is missing, okay, so you're happy and content in general. All right, good, yeah. But there is something that you feel is missing and you just can't get it off your mind. You try to ignore it, but you just can't escape the desire. Now, there can be several ways to look at this, but one way is that nature, the natural world, has in hardwired feedback loops in each organism. So we see this in nature all the time. There's feedback loops, positive reinforcing feedback loops and negative reinforcing feedback loops. And so what the human has done, though, is they try to disconnect themselves from the feedback loops. Nature puts them there in order to keep propelling the betterment of everything, keep propelling and sort of pushing along the I don't want to call it evolution as if it's better, but to kind of keep it adapting, changing, evolving. Yes? With the circumstances. Everything is moving and living. The energy, it's all a living system all around us. The whole thing is alive. And so that is why there is feedback mechanisms that have been built into things. So, for example, we can look at the physical world and we can see feedback mechanisms are, okay, a real simple one. I've got a headache. Okay, well, in our modern society, I got a headache. Where's some ibuprofen? Take a pill. Okay, get rid of the headache. Okay, now I'm all better. And that's because we've been born into that type of system. But in the natural world and in natural healing, like Ayurveda and many indigenous type cultures, they understand that you have a headache for a reason. There's a reason for it. So you don't take something that disconnects you from the feedback loop. It's your body trying to tell you, hey, I'm dehydrated. Or, hey, we need more electrolytes. We need some salt. So you better do something to get some salt to make this headache go away. Or, hey, you're sitting in this posture too long, hunched over on your keyboard or whatever for too long. We don't like that posture, so let's get out of it. That's what the neck ache, the tension headache is trying to tell you. Yeah? Guys, am I blowing this microphone out? I hope I haven't been blowing this microphone out. But anyways, that is what the tension headache would be trying to tell you. And so the heart energy will listen to that. Will listen. You have to listen to the feedback. Okay, thank you, Val. You have to listen to the feedback, meaning that the headache, okay, you say, why is it there? So you start experimenting and you put some salt under your tongue. Now, a lot of times you will be astonished. If you have a headache, a lot of times some sea salt under the tongue and just let it dissolve will take it away completely. It's amazing. All right. So it's amazing how that can work. Now, if that itself doesn't work, you drink a big thing of water. Okay. So the electrolytes from the salt, the hydration from the water. Okay. 9 times out of 10, that will be enough. It will take care of it. Or change your posture or do some stretching. So you're utilizing the feedback loops. And this is important. This is what we've become totally disconnected from. Sort of purposely, of course, because the healthcare / sick care system wants you to be disconnected from this. So by taking something. So instead of just taking something all the time, understand what the feedback mechanisms are trying to tell you. Now, that's just a small example because we can all relate to that. But that is true in every aspect of life. Depression can be, now, I'm not talking about, there are certain circumstances, chemical imbalance type depression, but most depression, almost all, is a feedback mechanism of the organism saying, we are not thriving. This is not conducive to thriving. Every organism is designed to thrive, not just survive, but to thrive, especially humans, to feel satisfied and to feel a thirst and a hunger for life and to feel inspired and to feel healthy and happy and connected and grounded. All of that is our natural birthright. That is our natural state. And so if we have types of depression or anxiety, that's a feedback loop. We don't just take antidepressant just like that. Now, there are some circumstances, this is a disclaimer, there's some circumstances where that makes sense, okay? But I'm talking the vast majority. So it's a feedback mechanism. Look into your life and say, hey, we're not thriving, okay? You're trying to force yourself to keep working on this marriage or something, on this relationship that has been dead for a long time, okay? That has that is not healthy for you anymore. Maybe there's something that is not healthy for you anymore. Once you start raising your vibration, the universe will conspire for you. It will conspire for your awakening. And so the depression, we're using this as a feedback mechanism example, can be leading you to, hey, you have to look at your life. You have to look at your situation. You have to examine what is happening in my life that is keeping me from thriving. It's a feedback mechanism. Use it, and don't just disconnect yourself from the feedback loop with something, or by distracting yourself with something else. And I can't figure out how to cure this depression. I bet you can. I bet you can. But it requires change. It requires doing something. It requires action, because that's what it's there for. It's not an accident that these kind of things, that this human psyche and the body has these kind of things, these feedback loops. It's all pushing it to the betterment. So it's very important that we learn to listen to this. Now, the questioner says, okay, there's something you feel, so you're happy and content in general. Yes, that's great, because you're doing the practices. You're a happy person. It's not like, oh, life's so miserable. But there's this thing that just keeps calling to you, that you just keep hearing. It just keeps recurring in your life. You need to listen to that feedback mechanism. Now, does that mean you have to do whatever it is or whatever it's saying? No, not necessarily. But it means that something needs your attention. That's what it means. The organism is a marvel of self-betterment when you get out of the way, meaning when the thinking mind gets out of the way. It's a marvel of self-development. And so if something is recurring, and you can pinpoint it especially, you need to examine it. You need to say, okay, what is this trying to show me? Just like the headache was trying to show us that we're dehydrated or that we've been sitting in one posture for too long. What is this thing trying to show me? Okay? And is it a desire, or is it inspiration? So we can go within, and we can sort of feel that. We can feel it from the heart energy. The heart energy, there is no question whatsoever. The heart energy already knows. Okay? I would say, manifesting, that term is way overused and misunderstood in the modern spiritual movement. With movies like The Secret coming out and stuff. Hey, you just, manifest a big house, and manifest a big car, and manifest checks coming to you in the mail. That movie, well, anyways, it's sort of been hijacked. Okay, but the reality of manifesting is nothing more than getting out of the way and tapping into the heart energy and receiving the vision of what is already there. It's already happened. Remember that. The story is already complete. It's already happened. So the only thing you need to do is to get out of the way enough to allow that vision to become a reality. And once that vision starts to become clear, you will be driven towards things that will bring about that in your reality. You will be driven towards that. And there will be no question, because the heart energy will be guiding you. It's not an egoic thing where you just have to think about it so much, and the mind is, oh no, all these different possibilities. I got to go back and forth 10,000 times. Let go of all of that. What is the feedback mechanism trying to tell you? Listen to it. Listen to it. Don't think about it. Listen to it. Observe the mind. Observe the sensations in the body. Observe the tension patterns in the body. Observe, observe. This is of utmost importance. Everything becomes clear to you when you observe. Prayer and meditation are two sides of the same thing. We can say prayer, and I used to tell people this when I was teaching at the Indiana Buddhist temple, and we would go to like universities and stuff, and with the monks, it would be the monks and then me, because I was like the go-between, and they would ask, so how does, because we would go to like Christian universities and stuff, because it was part of their world religion studies class. we would go there and talk to all these kids. They would ask us, so how does prayer fit in with this meditation thing you're talking about? And it came to me that it fits in perfectly. Prayer is asking the universe, or God in their mind, asking the universe for what you want or for what you would like to see happen in life. Meditation is becoming silent enough within to receive the answer. And that's exactly what we're doing. You become silent enough within to receive the answer. Because if you're constantly asking for things, God, please do this for me, please do that for me, please do this and that and this. Okay, that can be, your relationship with that is your own thing. But become quiet enough to receive the answer. And not just it might come as a thought, but it will most likely come as a sensation, a feeling, a realization, a knowing. The heart will know, and you can feel it. And you have to go with it. You have to have, at first it takes courage until the mind learns to get out of the way, and until you learn to trust the heart energy. At first, it's like, whoa, but without the mind, without the decision-making thing of the mind, I'm just going to be led into the horrible situation. How am I going to survive? That's the ego mind saying, well, you can't live without me. Oh, but you can. You can actually thrive. You actually don't really start living until you get up away from the ego mind and you allow the heart energy to start guiding things. Yes? So my recommendation is not to try to ignore it. So the questioner says, you try to ignore it, but you just can't escape the desire. You don't ignore it. You don't ignore it. Ignoring it is like taking a pill for the headache analogy. Instead, you use it. You feel it. You go into meditation. 5 minutes of meditation with it, or 10 minutes, whatever it is. You go into meditation with it. And you feel it. You say, okay, I'm not going to ignore it. What is it trying to tell me? Not as a thought necessarily, but as a feeling in the body. Feel it. If it's something, some life situation change that you need to make, envision it with your mind. Okay, what would that look like? And go there in the mind. Okay, so I've made this decision. I've sold my house and I moved to this place. Or I've done this or done that. I got this job or did something like this. Okay. Play the tape out, follow it along in your mind, and feel how that feels. But not as a fantasy, more as a, not like a flashback, but a flash forward. You understand the difference? And just feel what that feels like in the body. And you will know if it just feels right. Yes, this is what I'm doing. Yes. Or no, that's an imagining, that's a fantasy of the mind. That's just a fantasy of the mind. If you go there and it says, nah, it just actually doesn't feel right, play the tape through. Whatever it is that keeps recurring, the desire, play it through. Play it through. So Matthias says, prayers are also to give thanks. Definitely, yes. That is very, very true. And I like that. Very much so, to give thanks. Although, well, yes, definitely. So the Freebird says, thank you, Nate, so much. Your teachings have enriched my life. Every week I get stronger and more peaceful. Yes, that's what we like to hear. Oh man, Muddy Paws says, people don't realize how little we actually need. We are alive. We are whole. All is well. This is absolutely the truth. This is absolutely the truth. I would have never understood these things in the same way had life just not showed it to me. Living out of a backpack for many years, traveling and things like that, and seeing other parts of the world. Oh my goodness, that's like another planet. As an American, born and raised in America until I was 22, it was shocking, to say the least. Shocking. And it doesn't matter how many National Geographic things or History Channel things you might watch about whatever, or how many travel blogs. Nothing prepares you for the experience of being there. Nothing. It changes what you are. It's just, yes. G-Mom says the people that appear in your dreams are all the personas the ego mind takes in your life while you are awake. Very good. Yes, you can read deeply into the dreams, my friends. Very nice. Aaron Johnson said, I'm drinking some tea, and each tea bag has a saying. This one says, the heart sees deeper than the eye. Whoa, that's exactly what we're talking about. The heart sees so much deeper. So I hope that sheds some light on that question. So if you guys have other questions like that, something, then we can develop those as time goes on. But so my advice is you don't ignore it, you don't escape it, you don't pretend like it's not there. You actually feel it fully. And you use that as a feedback mechanism to make adjustments. Now, the headache example was just one example. The depression example was another. There are so many, though. Everything that we feel is a feedback mechanism. Value it and don't run from it. Very important. So Brian says, looking back at it, when I've went against the heart, it has crashed down like a house of cards. Oh, definitely. Because the ego mind doesn't know. It thinks that it knows and it wants to know, but it's just so little and petty compared to the knowing of the heart. When you start living by the heart energy, things open up to you in a way that is unforeseeable. It's unforeseeable until so long as you're still operating from the ego mind. So it's kind of like, well, but that just doesn't make any sense. So I'm just not going to think about my life. I'm not going to make any decisions. That's what the ego mind says. But it's actually nothing like that. It's actually it's just shifting the seat of what you perceive yourself to be, shifting the seat of your awareness. And when you do this, the universe becomes very friendly to you. It is always conspiring to your awakening. Even right now, even if it doesn't seem like that, the universe is conspiring for your ultimate awakening. If the universe could have a desire, that would be the only one. If we're going to personify something that is not a person, then and say that what is the desire of the universe? Okay, it's an analogy. The one desire would be to know itself, to awaken from the dream of form and to know itself. And how does it do that? Through you. Not through you and you and you and me, only through you. So, yes, guys. And when you do this, when you start living by the heart, oh my goodness, let me know in the comments. If you feel like you've started living from the heart energy, what are some of the benefits? I mean, people become way more friendly to you. When you do this meditation that we did in the beginning, and you relax and you deeply relax and you have this expansiveness and you're releasing the tension, then it is very it saturates the atmosphere around you. Okay, so a lot of people talk about, well, I'm an empath or I'm empathic, as if it's some kind of superpower. But being an empath, being empathic, is not a superpower. It is our natural state. Humans are supposed to be like this, and many animals do this as well. You feel the feeling of others, the vibration of others. And so you will notice there's so many effects in your life when you begin living from the heart energy and you relax the tension. Other people are going to feel that. They're going to feel that. They're going to be more relaxed around you. They're going to desire to be around you because they feel good. Because if you're feeling good and you're feeling confident and alive and strong, that's going to saturate them. All people to varying degrees are empathic. are empaths. They will feel that. It will naturally saturate the environment around you. Animals will become more friendly to you, including humans. Situations become more friendly to you. All of that happens without even trying. The only thing that has to happen is getting out of the way. Yes. Yes. Burger Time says, so far it's like jumping on a trampoline. Every now I get a view of what you're saying, talking about, to completely steal a Ram Dass quote. Okay, yes, that makes sense. That makes sense. Definitely. You're boing like that. Doom, then looking up. Okay, I see a little bit. Oh, okay, I see a little bit. Oh, boom. But there comes a time when you'll be launched over the boundary, and it will all become crystal clear. And it will happen now. It will happen now and no other time. And it will happen only by getting out of the way. Because the only person stopping you from realizing absolute freedom is you. Okay, guys. So, let's see. Pop Perm's got a good one. Says, I have remembered our divine power, mainly with DMT and salvia. It made me remember our hide and seek playing with God. It's wild. Trust your gut, trust your intuition and energy. Then Pop Herm says, drugs aren't necessary, but it's what led me to understanding everything. Many can feel it with deep meditation. I haven't. Yes, we'll talk about that sometime, actually. That can be a whole podcast on itself. Psychedelic usage and self-awakening and self-realization, something like that. We can talk about that, definitely. I have vast amounts of experience with that many, many years ago. So we can definitely talk about that. So, guys, make sure you hit the thumbs up, okay? And let's see. Spencer with an S says, living from the heart energy has opened up my life to life like I had not known before. It is the ultimate trip and a higher high than any substance had ever offered me. Love is the key. Yes, my friend. That's what we like to hear. So, yeah, both of those we will talk about in a future episode. So, okay, my friends, thank you very much for being here. And if anyone else wants to get in on these kind of interactions, bring them. It'd be great to grow this tribe some more. It would be wonderful. So thank you guys very much for your engagement, and put any future ideas in the comments. And we will see you next time. Infinite Spirit goes before me and opens the way. Infinite wisdom tells me what to do and what to say. Infinite Spirit goes before me and opens the way. Infinite wisdom tells me what to do and what to say. Infinite Spirit goes before me and opens the way. Infinite wisdom tells me what to do and what to say.